The Everyday English almanac for boys and girls. Страница 30. This week's proverbs. If the sky falls, we shall catch larks. Если небо упадет, мы будем ловить жаворонков. Если бы, да кабы. When pigs fly, когда свиньи полетят. Когда рак свистнет. Were passed on, передавались дальше. They were written, они были записаны. Teeny tiny, крошечка, крошечный, чуть-чуть. Once upon a time there was, жила, была. This week you will read the first folk tale in this book. So we want to tell you a few words about folk tales. Many, many years ago, when there were no books or newspapers, there were stories. People did not read stories, they told them. In the long winter evenings, when people could not work in the fields, they sat near the fire and told tales. The children listened, and when they grew up, they told those same stories to their children, and so the tales were passed on for hundreds of years until at last they were written. Teeny Tiny, an English folk tale. Once upon a time there was a teeny tiny woman who lived in a teeny tiny house in a teeny tiny village. One day this teeny tiny woman put on her teeny tiny hat and went out of her teeny tiny house for a teeny tiny walk. While she walked, she came up to a teeny tiny gate. The teeny tiny woman opened the teeny tiny gate and went into a teeny tiny yard. When this teeny tiny woman came into the teeny tiny graveyard, she saw a teeny tiny bone on a teeny tiny bench, and the teeny tiny woman thought, I'll make some teeny tiny soup for my teeny tiny supper out of this teeny tiny bone. So the teeny tiny woman put the teeny tiny bone into her teeny tiny pocket and went home to her teeny tiny house. When the teeny tiny woman came home, she was teeny tiny tired, so she put the teeny tiny bone into a teeny tiny cupboard and went to sleep. Suddenly she heard a teeny tiny voice from the teeny tiny cupboard, which said, Give me my bone. Graveyard, кладбище. The teeny tiny woman was teeny tiny frightened, so she put her teeny tiny bone under her teeny tiny pillow and went to sleep again. Then again she heard the teeny tiny voice which cried from the cupboard a teeny tiny louder, Give me my bone. This made the teeny tiny woman a teeny tiny more frightened, and she put her teeny tiny head under her teeny tiny pillow. Then again she heard the teeny tiny voice from the teeny tiny cupboard which said a teeny tiny louder, Give me my bone. And the teeny tiny woman was a teeny tiny more frightened, but she put up her teeny tiny head from under her teeny tiny pillow and said in her loudest teeny tiny voice, Take it. Words to remember. A ball pen. A pencil and a pencil box, a duster and a piece of chalk, a blackboard, a map and a pointer, a ruler, school bags, a timetable, a desk, an eraser, a textbook, a notebook, a day book. To draw a straight line, провести прямую линию. When Bobby wants to draw a straight line, he uses a ruler. To wet, смачивать. Bobby, wet the duster and clean the blackboard, please. To rub out, стирать. Don't rub out the wrong word. It is better to cross it out. Вычеркнуть. To hand in, сдавать. Bobby is handing in his notebook. English humor. Bobby has a brother. Have you got any brothers or sisters? I have a brother, 7 months old. What can he do? He can see Mama and Daddy. Can he walk? No, he's too lazy. Bobby eats 2 cakes. Bobby, what is the matter with your brother? He's crying because I'm eating my cake and won't give him any. Is his own cake finished? Yes, and he cried while I was eating that too. Mama and Daddy. Mama и папа. The